Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Oblong Polka Dots and my name is Kerr, and on this channel we talk about makeup, skincare, and beauty. So if that's something you're into, you've come to the right place. First of all, my window's open, so we are contending with the birds and the traffic, and I have a fan sitting here because it's hot. So today we're going to use the Viseart Professional Makeup Minxette Étendue palette. Boy, I hope I said that right. This has 12 pigments in it. This is what the box looks like, and then this is what the palette looks like. And you've seen this style before, but it's just the bigger one, and it's got the little ribbon on the back like it normally does. Now the box did warn, there's one shadow here that the FDA says should not be used on the eyes, so I'm going to point that one out real quick. It's this one right here, because it says shadow number 8 on the warning. I'm guessing if you just count from left to right, that's the one they're talking about. So I'll just keep that in mind when I'm using this palette. I have no idea what kind of look I'm going to do today, but I will say obviously it's going to be neutral, which is pretty much my favorite kind of look to do. So I'm trying to get an angle here so you guys can kind of see these colors a little bit better. But yeah, this is what the palette looks like. So we'll do a lightest to darkest and a gradient from lightest to darkest on my eye like I normally do. But first, primer. So let's begin with the Essence Prime Like a Boss eyeshadow base. This is the one I use in probably every video at this point, you guys. I love it because it does keep my shadow from creasing and moving all day long. And it allows the shades to just do what they do. And I don't have to worry about what it's going to look like at the end of the day. Okay. So we're going to let that sit there for a second. And while we're doing that, we're going to use the Milani Conceal and Perfect number 4 color corrector. I use this all the time. I really like this product a lot. The packaging is what drives me insane. As you can see, it's very messy, but the product inside really does what it needs to do. So we're going to keep using it. It's just canceling out some of that gray that's underneath my eyes. My dark circles are hereditary. It's completely normal, but I don't necessarily want to highlight them. So we're going to try and neutralize them a little bit so we can let the makeup shine. All right, we have a little sponge right here, and we're just going to press that in. I know that I talk about the fact that I like this product, but I'm not sure I've actually ever explained why. First of all, I think that this shade really does counteract a lot of the gray underneath my eyes, but also I like the formula for the feel. It's very easy to blend in. It plays well with other products. In other words, there's other products that sit right on top of it, and it's not a problem. Yeah, it just has a really nice feel under the eye. It doesn't feel dry or anything like that. So for the eye, let's start off with a flat brush, and we'll begin with this color right here. Something a little bit peachier to warm up the lid. Let's see how it goes. As far as the Viseart formula, I do like it. It's very clearly an artist is the one that put this formula together because it blends so beautifully on the surface, and a lot of these colors are also quite buildable, so you won't go too overboard with them, but you can also, you know, make a look that's impactful. I don't have a lot of fallout either when I use these, if any, and it's just a really nice formula. It's comfortable. It reminds me a little bit of almost if you took the Natasha Denona shadows and so for the dryness of the Natasha Denona shadows, but the blendability of the Lorac shadows, that's what it makes me think of. but it is a relatively old brand. It's been around for a long time, and I just think that they know what they're doing. They've been doing this for such a long time, they've got it down to a science. So that's that for that. That's that for that. Let's go in with, how about this brown, this chocolate color right here. We're just going to use that same brush for the outer corner. I think it's brown. Almost looks like a burgundy brown, but let's find out. See what I mean? I just tapped the brush into the pan, and now I'm just patting it. That's all I'm doing. And can you see that payoff? This is what I mean. Whoever made this formula made it to be effortless. They made it for someone that works with makeup all the time. When you have a really nice formula like this, it's not just the wear, it's not just the blendability or the application. If you think about it, it's also about how much work the artist has to put in to get to the look that they're trying to achieve. And if you're going to make a product that has high blendability, easy to use, long lasting, beautiful shades, just the right amount of pigment, then what you're really doing is you're making that artist's life a lot easier. They literally do not have to put in as much physical work as they normally would, say, using another product, which I don't know if people really think about that, but after a while, you're going to get carpal tunnel from, using your hands in the same way. So there is a product you can use that's going to make it easier. Then it does make a difference in how long you can work and what work you can do. So let's use this shade right here. And that's just thinking about it from like an occupational standpoint, right? So when these companies make this kind of product, they really are helping people with the longevity of their careers, whether they know it or not. I like this apricot. This is nice. And it does come out coppery over the shade that I put down, but it still has that warmth, that kind of warm apricot feel to it. Very pretty. They're so blendable. Can you guys see that? Just minimal effort. Absolutely beautiful. Viseart, I cannot recommend this enough. I'm so glad that I picked up these palettes. They had a sale for spring, and I kind of went ham, and I'm glad that I did because, as you know, a lot of you have been here for a while. We're going to use this shade next. This one right here. I'm trying to turn over my collection. There's a lot of stuff in my collection I've just had for such a long time, and I think it's just, it's gotten stale. So it's time for me to start switching things out and getting rid of stuff. So I've done a lot of decluttering and a lot of replacing, and I'm trying to find products that I believe are going to, first of all, I'll reach for often, and then second of all, will last me for some time and are high quality. I'm just really at a stage in my life where it's about the quality. When I was younger, it was about just accessibility because I couldn't afford all that. But now that I'm older and a little more established, it's really about the quality. I have the opportunity now to be more discerning in the choices that I make for the products that I use in my life. And that includes makeup. So can you see that? Can you see how blendable that is? It just, I don't know what else to say, you guys. If you don't have any Viseart palettes, save your coins and grab a couple. They're just beautiful. They're beautiful. That's it. That's the short version of it. Lastly, I'm going to go in with this shade right here. I'm going to actually pop that in my crease. Because my crease is deep, I don't necessarily feel the need to put a deep color in there. I tend to put a color, though, that's going to blend or marry the other colors that I put on my lid together. And this is neutral enough to do that. It's very similar to the shade of my skin, so This is just about blending it out. That's all we're doing. That's all we're doing here, kids. It's a little bit of blending. Then we're going to go right back in with that first shade that we put on, and we're just going to add that in as well. We use that to blend it up just a bit. And that's it. Very, very basic, but also pretty. So I have a flat brush here, and we're going to do a little bit of mirroring with the top and the bottom. So we are going to go in with that sort of bright color right there, that bright pinky color. And then we're going in with that apricot just underneath. Because all we're doing is trying to mirror the upper lid to the lower lid. That's all we're up to. And then we're going back in with that chocolatey brown, which I'm beginning to wonder if it's brown at all, because really it's kind of like a deep purple. Is that it? Maybe? I think that's it. This is the part where I always find myself in trouble, because I end up like just doing more than is needed. Okay, let's just stop here. Because I could already see where this is going. All right, so that is the palette. I love it. I think it is so beautiful. I'm really glad that I bought it, and I can see that this is going to get a lot of use in the future. Let's finish, shall we? Do we have any cleaning up to do? Nope, we're good. All right, so we have the Lancome Tainted Ultra Wear All Over Concealer. This is in the shade 470. I'm going to put some of this on underneath. Normally I let this sit underneath my eye for a while just to get the most pigment payoff, but every once in a while I just put it on and blend it out. And this is one of those every once in a while type situations. So all we're going to do is just pat it in. Okay. So that's blended in. And then before we know it, we'll be finished. So I'm going to be using the Makeup Forever HD Skin Foundation. This is in the shade 3N54Y463. If we are skin twins, this is my exact match. But first, let me pop in with this Ruby Kisses HD Set and Forget setting powder, because what I'm going to do, and I've talked about this powder a bunch now, you want to be careful with it because it will make you look casket ready, but I want to take a little bit of this powder and just press it into the places where I get oily, and then we'll pop the foundation on top of that. And that should make my foundation last a little bit longer for the day. I love these little sponges. I picked this one up from Amazon, and it comes in a pack, and they're very, very easy to clean. I clean mine using the Zote soap, if you're familiar with that. We're going to take one pump and then another little pump. I don't like to wear too much foundation, but I do like just enough to at least, you know, get in there and do the thing. I'm really just looking for a skin-like finish. I'm not looking for anything more than that. Just something to look like it's making my skin even. And we're just blending this out with the sponge, same sponge. Often when I wear this particular foundation, I get compliments on my skin, which is so funny because I'm like, oh, I'm actually wearing a foundation. People are like, oh, it looks very skin-like. And I think that's really a testament to not only the formula, but also the shade range and the undertones that are offered by Makeup Forever, because this is probably the first brand that I'd ever purchased years ago where the foundation actually matched my skin tone. I could not believe it. I didn't need to buy a second foundation. I didn't mean to mix and match or anything like that. It just matched my skin tone. And ever since then, I've been hooked. I'm really very glad that they figured out early on, years ago, that they should be catering to everyone. And it just makes business sense, right? If you want to have a strong business that lasts for a long time, you got to have a high quality product that a lot of people can use. And then that expands your base. I think that's pretty basic in terms of business, but nobody asked me. Glad somebody asked somebody to Make It Forever though, because they figured it out. We're going to take that same powder that I used a minute ago, and we're using that to just set the foundation that I just put on. Now, remember, this powder is definitely a powder that has a white cast to it, so it will make you look casket ready, but it also, oops, girl, it also will keep your makeup on all day long, all day. Whatever you put on top, like whatever you put this on top of, is not going anywhere. Period. It's going nowhere. Recently, I've been using the Skin Fetish powder in Deep, the blurring under eye powder, but I really can't tell if it's making any difference in my makeup, and I can't tell if I like it or not. I'm super duper on the fence about this. I have never been on the fence about a powder like this before. Generally, you just put it on and it works or it doesn't. But this stuff is kind of, I don't know how to put it. There's something about it that I either do or don't like. I just can't figure it out. Still on the fence, guys. And it's been like, what, more than a month? Sometimes it'd be like that, though. I have the Mented Cosmetics bronzer in the shade Vacay. We're going to use a little bit of this just to warm up the skin after, you know, putting on all of that other Ruby Kisses powder, which definitely will take the life out of your skin. You want to warm it back up a little bit. Just a little, not a lot. And this bronzer is beautiful. It really, really is. But it's also very pigmented, so I often will have a heavy hand with it. Oops. but otherwise, I really like it a lot. I think that the shade is very nice for my tone. I think it works really well. I think there's one other shade that's a little bit deeper than Vacay, I believe, if I recall. But see how it just kind of brings the warmth back into your skin so you're not looking crazy. I have a blush here from Bare Minerals that I really love. It's so beautiful. This one is called You Had Me at Merlot. I used to wear this all the time, so I had to put it down because it really was taking over. But it's so pretty. And you can build it up too. You don't have to be heavy-handed like I am. I just happen to really like blush. There we go. What do we have left? How about an eyeliner? How about this one from Avon? Actually, does this have glitter in it? Yeah, let's not do this one. Hold on. Let me grab one of my other tried and trues over here. This one, I love this one. It's from Urban Decay. It's called Love Drug. We're going to use this. It's a pretty purple, but it's not like going to take over. It's just enough to add a little bit of depth to the lashes. Just like that. So we're just popping that in just to add a little bit of something like that. And because lately I've been into doing the most, and I normally do not line my lower lash line, but here we are. I'm going to put a little bit of this pink right here. This is Woodstock, also by Urban Decay. Because sometimes we do like to do the most. Just sometimes. Okay, I have a mascara here by Lancome. It's called Monsieur Big. And I really like this mascara a lot. I don't typically buy a lot of high-end mascaras because I fly through my mascaras. I throw them out quite frequently because I'm really very cautious about my eyes and I don't want to get any kind of infection or anything. So just in an abundance of caution, I try not to hold on to my mascaras for very long. That's why I don't buy high-end very often. It doesn't mean there aren't formulas I love, like this one, for example. It just means that, you know, that's a lot of money kind of flying out the window. I really like this formula though because it's wet and it dries quickly. So if you have longer lashes and you like a wet formula but you have trouble with it because you get it onto your lid, just look down like I'm doing right now when you go to put the mascara on, and then keep looking down for a few more seconds so it can dry. And then you don't have to worry about it landing on your lid and ruining all that work you just did. Although if you do, it's okay. Just let it dry. And then you can flake it off. But it's easier if you don't get it on there in the first place. And then we're going to go right here on the bottom. Just a little back and forth. And that's it. Let's get a lip. How about a nice neutral lip? I've really been loving the ones from Gucci lately. I really like their products a lot. If you're looking for a nice luxury lipstick, I definitely recommend Gucci because it's just a beautiful formula. It's very wearable. It's very it's pretty. And then if you want a different recommendation, I also recommend Dior. Obviously, Dior is like king when it comes to luxury lipsticks for sure. I don't know which one of these I want. There's a few that I wear to death. Like I wear them constantly. So this one is from Gucci and it's one of the ones that has the floral case. And the shade is in Mildred Rosewood. I wear this one a lot. But I do because it's a pretty warm brown. And it goes on like a gloss. And it wears comfortably. And it matches a lot of my neutral looks. So here we go. This is what the look looks like. Let me know what you think. I love Viseart. I hope that you guys have the opportunity to get your hands on a palette as well. It's really a beautiful formula. Thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate your time. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share, and I will talk to you soon. Take care.